Good evening and welcome. For tonight's game, I'm Nico Emack, alongside my co-host tonight, Warren Wazzy Backman. Tonight, Boston City takes on the Brooklyn Italians. Traveled all the way down here from New York. Must have been a long drive.
Absolutely, Nico. It's about a 5-hour drive for them. Their legs have got to be a little bit cramped sitting in that bus all day.
That's for sure. Warren, tonight the home team takes on the Brooklyn Italians in a nice, cool 50-degree weather here at Brother Gilbert Stadium. The home team comes into tonight's matchup with 0 wins, 1 tie, and 2 losses. Unfortunately, they've only scored 2 goals this season and had 7 goals scored against. The Italians come in with a similar record of 1 win and 2 losses. They've scored 5 goals this season, but have had 6 scored against them. So a pretty even matchup as far as the results have gone so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely, Nico. You nailed it on the head there. It's going to be a very tight matchup tonight. We expect not much in between both teams, though.
Definitely, Warren. So before we talk about tonight's game, let's go back a few games to the first home game of the season against the New York Cosmos B. Talk us through that game and how we've gotten to this point in the season.
Well, Nico, it was a rough start to the season for Boston City FC. They had to play the mighty New York Cosmos right off the bat. Not the best team you want to play at the start of the season. And they were unfortunately just absolutely dismantled 4-0 at the start of the season. It was a very rough start for them as well. They gave up a goal off a corner. Very bad defending, got cut inside. Ball was played right across the face of goal, and at the back post, New York Cosmos center back tapped it in. It was 1-0 there. And then only about 5-10 minutes later, a header at the back post by Doran Espinal. Nothing Walter Dronkers could have done about that. Made it 2-0, and you know from that point on, Nico, the Boston City was going to be up against it. And unfortunately for them, at the start of the second half, they did show some signs of life, but then they conceded a 3rd goal. And then unfortunately, despite some chances that they got involved with that game, didn't really create much in terms of the final third, in terms of really troubling the New York Cosmos. So unfortunately for them, they conceded a 4th one late by Danny Satella. And it was curtains for them at that point. They had to see out the rest of the game. Brought in some young guys at the end of the game, got them experience. That was great for them. Paulinho really just rotating his squad well like you should. And unfortunately for them, rough start to the season, a 4-0 loss. But nonetheless, they did have a game the next week, Nico.
They did, Warren. And one thing I'll add to those of you just tuning in today, it was a tough opponent. The New York Cosmos, formerly in the NASL, now in the NPSL, bring a lot of pro talent, and they've been undefeated throughout the season so far in NPSL action. So definitely not just Boston City. They've been a threat throughout this NPSL.
Yeah, absolutely, Nico. They've had 5 wins on the season now, 5 out of 5 games. Brilliant start to them, top of the table, full amount of points. Their only blemish, though, is a loss in the U.S. Open Cup to nonetheless but the Brooklyn Italians, who Boston City are playing tonight. A 3-2 loss, Nico. It was an absolute shock loss for them as they campaigned, their owner Rocco Commicio campaigning against U.S. Soccer to allow the New York Cosmos to be in the Open Cup in the first place. And then, ironically, Nico, they did all that work to get in, and then they ended up losing in the first round 3-2 to the Brooklyn Italians. Absolute shock defeat. Really just shocked the American soccer world.
Definitely, Warren. And as we look to the field now, here come our boys in red, looking good as ever in those New Balance uniforms, of course. Brooklyn Italians in white tonight. Both teams looking good and getting ready to take the pitch soon. So, Warren, talk us through tonight's opponent. What makes the Brooklyn Italians such a strong opponent?
Well, Nico, the team was founded in 1949, where they've been all out through many different divisions. They've been in the NPSL, they've been in Men's League, they've been in the USL, they've been in several different divisions throughout their great, illustrious existence. They won 2 Open Cup championships in 1979 and 1991. And also, since they've joined the NPSL in 2010, they've won 2 Atlantic Conference championships, which is the conference we currently play in now with Boston City, in 2011 and 2013. So they have a wealth of experience, a wealth of history, much more than most of the other teams they're going to play against in the entire country, Nico. And moving forward as well, though, like you mentioned, rough start to the season for the Brooklyn Italians, but they're looking to pick up some points here against Boston City, who, like we mentioned before, Nico, a little bit struggling at the start of the season.
Definitely, Warren. So talk us through that starting lineup for Boston City tonight. Who's in it? I know there's a few key changes that you want to explain to the fans at home.
Absolutely, Nico. Well, in goal, we have a change. Walter Dronkers is out, and Colin Balkwell is in net for the Lions. Right back, we have Michael Rincon. Center backs Gabriel D'Souza and Paulo Henrique. Left back is Paul Fomenki. Center mids, we have Pedro Silva and Jadson Lecce, who's returning from injury. Right mid, we have Rigoberto Jimenez. Left mid, we have Homero Moraes. Attacking mid, none other than Isaac Adai. And then center forward, Rafael de Souza.
Definitely. And we're just going to take a brief moment for the national anthem. Warren, I'll tell you this, nothing quite like the national anthem to fire you up before the game. I know back in my playing days, it's a great experience. It gives you that, 10, 20 seconds to really lock in and get focused and fired up.
I agree, Nico. Definitely, it was always my favorite part of playing. It was really just to take a breath, set the seed, and then be able to get out there and play.
Definitely, Warren. So as the players go and take the pitch, we're going to transition into the commentary's booth. We'll be back at halftime. See you then. Thanks. Among the coaching staff, talk us through that. So Coach Paulinho, obviously with the red card last game, out for tonight. Who's taking over at the helm?
Well, Nico, tonight's going to be Steve Sosa. He's the Boston City FC goalkeeper coach. He's also the UMass Boston goalkeeper coach here at local D3 college in Boston. Is very prominent. And he brings a wealth of experience. He played actually in the first meeting between these two teams, a 5-2 loss for Boston City back in 2016. And he provides a wealth of experience going forward as well. So we'll see what he can bring to the table. But unfortunately, like you mentioned, Nico, the last game a 1-0 loss to New York Athletic Club for Boston City, where Marcelo Cunha and Paulinho, the head coach, got sent off.
Definitely, Warren. One more change that fans at home might be excited to see, Warren. Yao Adao back on the bench. For those of you who don't know, Yao Adao, a fan favorite of Boston City, scored the first ever goal for the club back in 2016. Yao briefly signed in the UPSL to the New Hampshire Rapids, but is back here with the Lions for tonight's game. Hopefully, we'll see him on the pitch not too long from now. And as both teams begin their final preparations here on the pitch, getting their last-minute stretches, both teams really locking in here as the referee checks his whistle, checks his watch, motions to the keepers. And there is the first whistle of the game.
Quick foul here at the start of the game here now for the Brooklyn Italians. Opportunity to maybe dink it into the box. Looks like they're going to elect to play it short. It's Brooklyn's Italian team. All the plays very comfortable possession. Wonderful with a roulette spin there by number 14, Ahu Obakan. Obakan down the right side is going to be a throw-in deep in Boston City's territory. But the Brooklyn Italians do have a player down here early inside the first minute. Number 2, Dominic Falanga.
Definitely a tough challenge, Warren, but he appears to be okay. Just a little limp in his step, but he's back in the game.
Thorns comes short here. It's going to be a Boston City throw. Ralph Angrad to take the throw for Boston City. Hella brilliant there by Rafael D'Souza. Hoofed clear as well. Just past our commentary booth, Nico.
Warren, that one came a little too close to comfort there. Also, another pleasant surprise, Warren, for the fans watching at home. Right there in his famous neon green cleats, Jadson Leche, the center mid, making his first home appearance for the Lions tonight. Number 32, always known for his long balls and aggressive first touch.
Long throw by Ralph Angrad. D'Souza trying to hold it up. Both teams appealing for it, but the Brooklyn Italians do win the throw. Deep into the quarter here. Trying to get a quarter, but it doesn't work. It comes out to Jadson Leche, who hits another one of those infamous long balls. Trying to find Rigoberto Jimenez, but cannot connect. Isaac Adai goes down. He does get the foul.
Jadson eager to take the free kick there, Warren. You know he loves that long ball. Always looking for an opportunity to find his players on the wing.
Another foul. A chippy start to this game, Nico. On the far side, Michael Rincon getting fouled there. Boston City always electing to play it short. Never really fans of the long ball, unless absolutely necessary. Come out here to Ralph Angrad, who takes a fortunate touch out of bounce. Misplaced, a little bit of a wayward ball there. But number 4, Simeon Olafsson collects it for the Italians. It'll be easy pickings there for Colin Balkwell. Who sends a long ball up, trying to find Rigoberto Jimenez. It's going to be a Brooklyn's Italian throw on the far side.
Warren, Colin Backwell opting for that long ball instead of playing it short. Definitely a change here for Boston City. We're used to seeing them play short.
The ball comes in. There's going to be opportunity. It's just by the far post there. Wonderful little bit of skill down the far side. It's been clipped into the middle, and the 4 just could not make the proper connection with it. But here come the Italians again. Ball from Menke, trying not to dive in there. the Boston City left back. It's going to be another throw deep in Boston City's half, and they're under pressure there, Nico, in the first couple minutes here, Boston City, similarly to when the Cosmos played them in the first season opener here at Brother Gilbert Stadium. Brooklyn Italians players appealing, but it looks like it's going to be a goal kick here for Boston City. Michael Rincon on the far side, playing as a right wing back tonight for Steve Sosa. Opting for a different type of formation, Nico. Talked about they usually have been played the past 2 games. Boston City has played 3 in the back, but they've elected to go with 4 here with Michael Rincon, Paulo Enrique, Gabriel De Souza, and Paul Fomenki. But Paul Fomenki and Michael Rincon playing as wing backs very, very high up, Nico, almost as left and right mids.
Definitely Warren. Playing that formation, the 4-5-1, as they have in the past, you know, hasn't really worked out for them as they're looking to make that change and really attack the goal more, have more options in that attacking third, and hopefully overwhelm the Italians' defense.
Excellent distribution there by Colin Balkwell. Rigoberto Jimenez trying to work his magic on the far side. Doesn't quite work out for him. It's going to be Italians throw on the far side. It's going to be a wayward ball there that just goes out calmly for Paul Fomenki to take the throw. Finds Homero Moraes, plays it through. Rigoberto Jimenez is in if he can take a shot. It was straight to the Brooklyn Italians goalkeeper, Michael Bernardi.
Warren, you can't ask for a better chance than that. Just 7 minutes into this game, a 1v1 with the keeper. All he had to do was pick a direction, left, right. But unfortunately, he chose the middle. He passed it right to the keeper, and he's going to be beating himself up for sure.
Yes, Nico, it just seemed it was easy for him to finish that than to just hit it straight down the middle. Just a really tame effort in the end. Really a golden opportunity for Boston City just 8 minutes in. Really will have put them on the front foot going forward for the rest of this game. The throw is taken there. Abu Obakan in the corner try to work it out. Abu appealing for a corner again, but linesman has gone against him twice now. It's going to be a Boston City goal kick. Pedro Silva playing and ride to Michael Rincon. Just a little, just takes his touch slightly too far there, Nico. It just runs into another Brooklyn Italians defender. Nana Adai calmly playing it back to Paul Fomenki. Gabriel De Souza into Jansen Lecce, runs into a little bit of trouble there, but to his credit, does retain possession for the Lions. Paul Fomenki dancing down the sideline, but it's going to be Italians throwing. Dominic Falanga plays it short here. Booker's player goes down, but it's going to be no foul. Oh, it's going to be a wonderful goal for the Brooklyn Italians. The cross from Dominic Falanga finds Clement Boret, the forward coming in from the far side. Flicks it at the near post. Calm pass Colin Balkwell. It's going to be 1-0 to the Brooklyn Italians.
Warren, the Brooklyn Italians caught that Boston City defense sleeping. After all that huff and puff in the corner.
Very interesting to how Boston City is going to respond to this opening goal, Nico. Just, you said, like you mentioned, Nico, looked like they were dominating possession so far. Isaac Adai likes to take a bot shot from halfway. It's never going to trouble the goalkeeper, Michael Bernardi. We talked about, again, the ability for Boston City to have a good start. They haven't done that again, Nico. They haven't done it again.
Warren, as I was saying earlier, the forward is going to be beating himself up D'Souza, he had that 1v1 with the keeper. He had the opportunity to put his team up 1-0, and now just 1 minute later, the Brooklyn Italians answer with a goal, and it's now 1-0.
It's going to be a quarter here for Boston City. See if they can get a quick response here. Would do wonders for their self-confidence, Nico. Like we talked about, for the folks who weren't here for the pre-match show, a 2-2 draw at TSF Academy as the quarter comes in. Rigoberto Jimenez in. This comes out to Jansen Lecce, fires a shot, appealing for a handball. Wonderful sombrero there, a second sombrero. Takes it on his chest. Absolute chaos going on in the box. This is cleared up by the Brooklyn Italians. Both teams appealing for a handball or a foul. Jansen Lecce is down, though, just outside the box, Nico. We talked about he's one of Boston City's key players that have come back from injury as a traitor's being called on here.
Definitely Warren Jansen, one of the most physical players on this roster, always on the attack, always looking to score. It doesn't matter if he's 5 yards out or 50 yards out, he's got his crosshairs on the goal.
Looks like he's up and walking gingerly. That's a good sign for Boston City. Yeah, they would hate for him to be out just after they just got him back, Nico. Worst thing that could happen for a player personally, for his confidence as well.
Warren, plenty of fans and players alike appealing for that penalty, but from this angle, it didn't look like a strong enough challenge to justify the referee awarding a penalty to Boston City.
No, I didn't think so as well, Nico. Isaac Adai also appealing for a handball in there. Could have been many different things they're appealing for. As the Brooklyn Italians have a chance to counter here. Just playing down the line here. Wonderful switch there to the far side. Towards the goal scorer, Clement Boret. So another shot's being taken in. It's been loose, but it's offsides. Goal will not count for the Brooklyn Italians. Boston City got away with that one there as the shot was fired in. Bulkwell could not hold it.
Warren, offsides or not, you cannot allow that to happen. That's a sloppy mistake from both the defense and the goalkeeper that easily could have gone the Italians' way.
And it was just offsides by just a yard there, Nico. It looks like as another cross is sent in. No one there for the Italians, though. Michael Rincon goes to clear it. Gabriel D'Souza fighting for it. Isaac Adai trying to work his magic there. But once again, Nico, Boston City very lucky to get left off the hook there because it was in the net. It was going to be a second goal to the Brooklyn Italians. But luckily for them, the linesmen saved their skins there.
Warren, you have to credit the Brooklyn Italians. Their high press to win the ball back in that attacking third was very strong. Even after the offsides call, they worked tirelessly to win that ball back and remained a threat until the referee called the foul.
Isaac Adai playing wide to Homero Moraes, who runs into two Italian players. Jansen Lecce collects it. Call me back, Gabriel D'Souza. There's a long ball trying to find Rigoberto Jimenez, but loses out there. Bulkwell, the goalkeeper, electing for it to call it, could play it back to him. It's going to be a foul by Abu Obakan on Gabriel D'Souza. A bit fortunate there, Nico. Didn't really see anything in that challenge, but it's going to give Boston City a chance to breathe and push out and try and find their feet again in this game.
Definitely, Warren. Abubakar, number 14, a very dangerous player, Warren. He's been key for this Italian side throughout the season. Correct me if I'm wrong, he is the leading goal scorer of this side.
You are actually incorrect, Nico. The leading goal scorer for the side is Matthew McDonald, but Abu Abubakar is the second top goal scorer with 2 goals on the season. He actually came in for a 6-minute cameo last game in the Brooklyn Italians' 4-1 win against the Rhode Island Reds and scored twice in 6 minutes in a 4-1 rout of the Rhode Island Reds. So he'll be coming to this game with loads of confidence.
Definitely, he's a key playmaker and will continue to be throughout this game.
As the Ironside's crew starts to filter into our right here. Jansen Lecce down again. Isaac Adai trying to roulette spin there. Doesn't quite work out for him. Plays out right to Paul Flamenki. Homero Marias just having difficult touch there, Nico. We've seen that with Paul and Homero on this side here, just not having the best of touches.
Definitely, Warren. At this level, you expect better. You demand better, really.
Wonderful shooting there done by Paul Flamenki. Just shooting the ball out there against Obakan. We did mention, as we talked about before, Nico, the Brooklyn Italians coming off a 4-1 win against the Rhode Island Reds. Really flying high so far. The first win of their season. Really needed us, besides for their Open Cup win against the New York Cosmos, 3-2. Homero Marias getting caught up there and fouled. The Ironside crew giving him a little bit of stick there. You love to see that, Nico.
The Ironside's passionate and fiery as ever. You love to see it.
Paulo Henrique taking up here for the Lions. Playing it wide to Michael Rincon. Finds Rigoberto Jimenez. Tries to play 1-2 with Isaac Adai. Gets held up. Once again, those two cannot connect on that far side. They had difficulties in the New York Cosmos game here in the season opener at Brother Gilbert Stadium. As the header right back, almost cut out there by Rafael De Souza. Was safely collected there at the end by Michael Bernardi.
I'm only charging $23.
Wonderful distribution out to the right here.
Oh, and
Dominic Falanga.
And just a lovely touch, too, there.
A long diagonal ball played again there, trying to find Rasmus Hansen. Tries to lay it off there, but Isaac Adai's turned. He's been whacked in the ankle there. He's going to come down. The referee's called him over. Looks like it's going to be a yellow. A bit harsh there, Nico. His first foul of the game, and he already has a yellow. Only 17 minutes in. It's going to be a long game for him.
That's for sure, Warren. It looks like the referee is just trying to assert his dominance a little and get control of this game before it gets out of hand. We've seen a lot of physical challenges so far. And it's been close, Warren. It's been very competitive and very physical. And I think the referee's just looking, to control it early to make sure it doesn't get out of hand later in the match.
I agree, Nico. You hate it when, and any player out there watching now knows what I'm talking about, when they say when the referee just loses control of the game and lets the players just start getting in fights, start whacking each other. Then it's bad for both teams. It puts both sets of players in danger. The coaches start yelling, similar to Paulinho did last game. They can get in trouble. It would be a long night if that's happened. So a yellow makes it interesting first, just to calm things down. It also sets a precedent with the players to just say, listen, calm things down. This is going to be what's worth a yellow card. If you step over this line, you also will get a yellow card. Opportunity for shoot there. It's been cleared out there. Dominic Falanga with the ball. Takes it down the line to try to find Abukar on the side, who actually wins it, plays a long ball. It's going to be out. Shepherded out by Michael Rincon for a throw deep in Boston City's half. Excuse me, it's going to be a goal kick. Apologize, a little difficult to see on that far side. Balkwell will take the goal kick.
Hey, LeBron without the talent. The world of LeBron's B.J.R. Smith.
Gabriel De Souza conducting orchestrating his defense from the back there. Looks like Boston City's going to be forced into an early change, Nico. Paul Flamenki's going to come off.
Warren, he's been an absolute nightmare at that left back position. Respectfully, he's left a lot of openings for the Italians on that left side, and definitely a necessary sub at this moment in the game.
Coming on is number 2, Leonardo Carvalho. interesting to see it change so early, Nico. Only 20 minutes into the game. Like you did mention, the goal did come down Paul's side. But clearly, Steve Sosa seeing something he didn't like.
Definitely, Warren. He's a great player. He comes to the club with a lot of experience and a lot of skill, but tonight, for some reason, he just was not locked in. His first touch was off. His positioning was flawed, and he was definitely a huge liability on that left side.
Gilbert de Souza trying to shield it out here. Gets a Obakad. First touch there by Leandro Carvalho. Keeps possession there to Isaac Adai. Gets tripped up. Finds Obakan. Wonderful little ball there into the forward. 34, Matthew McDonald. Romero Moraes. Quick little 1-2 with De Souza. Trying to find Rafa De Souza up front. Chases it down to the corner. Haven't called his name much so far, Nico. Rafa De Souza, the lone striker up there. Isaac Adai is trying to play in behind him, but haven't been able to link up as well so far.
Definitely, Warren. He hasn't really been tested yet this game, but we look forward to see what he may do.
The throw is taken quickly by Carvalho. Into Moraes. Keeps possession back to Paulo Henrique. Trying to find Isaac Adai, but once again the pass is just off target, Nico. A wonderful win by Michael Rincon. De Souza loses out. And the opportunity to counter for the Italians was on there. If they could find Obakan in the corner, they could not. Jansen Lecce will take the throw. Bad touch there again by Romero Moraes. Great interception there by Paulo Henrique. It looked like the number 10, Rasmussen Hansen, was in on the far side. Michael Rincon hadn't gone back in time. It would have been absolute one-on-one there for the Italians if they had gone to it.
Warren, it was great patience from the defender. It's what you want in a center back, and in that moment, he really stopped the attack and let Boston City stay in it.
Michael Rincon whips the ball into the box, but it's past everybody. It's going to go harmlessly out for an Italian's goal kick.
Great bit of athleticism there from De Souza, chasing that ball down, seeing it out.
Bernardi will take the goal kick for the Italians, just slowly taking his time, letting defense push up. It's been a chaotic opening 23 minutes, Nico, so far. We've got ourselves a goal, a couple penalty appeals, a substitute. Not necessarily a common opening to a game. As De Souza loses out again, not really having the presence up front that Rigoberto Jimenez had in the Cosmos game, where he was able to hold the ball up and just cause some chaos up front for the Lions. Romero Moraes just losing out there. It's going to be an Italian's throw. Had the option to play it back to Jansen Lecce in midfield, but tried to do a little roulette spin to knock him off for him.
Oh, that might have been the worst throw I've ever seen. Tried your best, it wasn't good enough. Lesson is never try.
A long ball played to the corner for Obakan if he could get onto it. Gabriel De Souza taking an iffy ball back to Colin Balkwell, who just does the safe thing and just plays it out. De Souza put him in a little bit of trouble there, Nico, with that back pass. Really was not the type of ball you want to have being played back to a goalkeeper.
No, Warren, it's definitely not, but he did a good job. He had a great first touch and saw it out cleanly and safely.
Jansen Lecce on the ground again for the Lions, appealing for a foul. Obakan wins a throw on the far side. Finally, number 22, Anthony Herbert, who's really been dictating the pace of this game so far in the first half, at least from midfield point of view. Number 2, Dominic Falanga with the throw. Plays it to Obakad, goes out for another throw for Falanga. Bit of a tangle up there as Gabriel D'Souza gets it. Boston City have the chance to counter if they can get on this. He's found his way on the far side if Romero Moraes can track it down. He cannot. It's shepherded out by Fazuli Tieb. And he will leave it for Dominic Falanga on that right back position. The referee telling Fazuli to speed up the play there. A little bit interesting. It's not like they were racing time, Nico. It's 25 minutes in.
A bit ridiculous, Warren. The center back never takes the throw.
Just unnecessary there for the referee. As play stopped there here, Dominic Falanga asking for a foul, just completely stopped playing with Romero Moraes, who just muscled him off him. Was able to switch the ball here to Isaac Adai. Isaac Adai scored a 95th minute free kick winner from 35 yards out. And their first away game of the season, second of the season overall, to save Boston City's blushes against TSF Academy. It's going to be a goal kick for the Italians here. But we talked about, Nico, in the pregame. It's difficult for Boston City to get into a rhythm. Although they dominated possession their past 2 away games against TSF Academy and New York Athletic Club, they did not come away with the results they wanted whatsoever.
Warren, as we saw earlier in the half, they have a very hard time finishing in front of the net and creating those chances that really put goals away. Ultimately, Warren, possession is great, but if you can't score, you're not going to win games.
It doesn't mean anything as well, despite what people like Xavi and Pep Guardiola will tell you at Barcelona, where possession was gone and meant everything. Jansen Lecce on the ground again, screaming at the referee for a foul. He's not going to get one. Michael Rincon cuts at the ball, finds his way to Rigoberto Jimenez, who's dancing on that far side. Alexa play it back to the keeper, Colin Balkwell. Wonderful hold-up play there by D'Souza. Romero Moraes onto Leandro Carvalho. D'Souza just not being able to get around it there. Fazou Tieb just too strong for D'Souza up there, Nico, so far. He hasn't gone by him once. It's going to be a throw there for Falanga. Jansen Lecce earning a foul here on the far side. Carvalho with the opportunity with the ball in there. He does. Fortunately, he's come out to Romero Moraes. Tries a flick. Once again, these little flicks and tricks for Boston City just not coming off whatsoever. Just really need to just settle the ball down and just play the 1-2 passes that have been so successful for them in the past. As Obakad plays it wide to the right back, Dominic Falanga, who's away, who whips it into the middle. There's an opportunity on the far side here. And Rigoberto Jimenez was not marking his man. Rasmussen Hansen, the number 10, the forward on the far side, had make a run to the far post. But he got a little nudge in the back there by Jimenez. And he's over the top by Hansen.
Warren, the Brooklyn Italians have been very strong on that counterattack throughout this half, always looking to counter with pace and with opportunities in front of the box.
They've also been really solid in the back, Nico. You have to say, we haven't called Isaac Adai, former NPSL National Player of the Year last season, haven't called his name whatsoever, as Michael Rincon's away here. Plays it right to Rigoberto Jimenez. Trying to look for support. Plays it back for Gabriel D'Souza, who whips a ball in there. Jansen Lecce retrieves it. Goes down here. It's going to be a foul. And another card is coming out here. It's going to be issued to number 8 for the Brooklyn Italians, Anthony Gimenez.
Warren, I think everyone at the stadium here tonight knew that second card was coming any moment. This game has gotten very physical, very aggressive. Both teams coming in very strong for their challenges and tackles.
It looks like it's going to be a foul for the Italians, actually. It looked like all the reason that was going to be a foul in Boston City's favor. Jadson Lecce's actually earned the yellow.
Warren, this is very typical of Jadson Lecce as a player. He did receive a yellow in his first game of the season last week.
Whatever you're having, I'd like some, please.
Jadson, a very physical player, a very athletic player.
Jadson Lecce pleading his innocence to the referee. Wagging his finger at him, though. It did seem like a 50-50 challenge, Nico, that when Jadson Lecce went down, it looked all the world like it was going to be a Boston City free kick in a dangerous area, but the Brooklyn Italians has gone off the hook here.
It did, Warren. Jadson, very strong, knows how to use his body. Unfortunately, sometimes for the ref, in those challenges, it can look like it's a foul when it's not.
Carvalho with a long ball got flicked onto Isaac Adai, who plays it right to Rigoberto Jimenez, who finds Rincon overlapping on the far side. If he can keep it in bounds, he'll do well. He's worked his way around. He keeps it in bounds, tries to nutmeg the defender, doesn't work out. Comes out to Jimenez, who digs it up into the channel there for Pedro Silva. It's going to be a Boston City throw on the far side. Starting to mount some pressure now this past 5 minutes on the Brooklyn Italians, as it looks like it's going to be a long throw here by Jimenez. Backing up far onto the track, actually. Likes to play it short to Isaac Adai, who makes room for him to whip the ball. If he can do it quickly, he cannot. It's going to be a throw, though, for Boston City.
Warren, as dangerous as Boston City looks, though, in this attacking third, as you said, this team is very keen on possession, and we haven't actually seen that many shots on goal.
It seems to be a common theme for Nico. We were talking with the coach, Steve Souza, before the game, and he was talking about how in the previous games where he's been on the bench as an assistant, that they've had copious amounts of possession, Nico, almost 70-80% of the possession throughout the entire game against the previous 2 away games in the league, and they just haven't made the chances that they need to score goals to win games. Simply, they have had 80% possession, but they've only generated 4 or 5 shots over the course of the game. Haven't been creative enough to create those chances. Both players are peeling on the far side. It's going to be a throw-in for Boston City. Quickly taken here for Pedro Silva. Isaac Adai wins it, plays it back to Jadson Lecce, who likes for a long diagonal ball. Rigoberto Jimenez jumps to win, he cannot. Finds his way to Isaac Adai. Rigoberto Jimenez Lecce for the strike, but it's very tame effort, well ride, Nico, in the end. Not really troubling the goalkeeper, Michael Bernardi, whatsoever.
Definitely a wasted opportunity, Warren. He had options. He could have played it back, kept possession. Instead, he elected for that shot. Very ambitious, to say the least.
Especially on that angle, Nico. Taking it as a right footer that Jimenez is, was not really going to have an opportunity to really get it on frame unless he curled it with the outside of his right foot. It's a very difficult skill for any player to do, especially on turf when you can't really get underneath the ball. Wonderful interception there by Carvalho. Isaac Adai takes it. Jadson Lecce plays a strong ball into Carvalho, who can't control it. It's going to be a Boston City throw. Plays it down the line for D'Souza, trying to hold it up. Wins a foul here against Fazou Tieb. The Ironside crew giving him a lot of stick on that far side, Nico. right in front of the referee, and the referee's given another yellow.
That's now the third yellow of the game, Warren. As we said, he tried to get a hold of the game early. He didn't quite have that effect, and now he's handing out cards left and right. Only 35 minutes into the first half, and we've already seen 3 cards.
Romero Marias over this free kick. If you can whip it into that space, in between the center backs and the goalkeeper, he'll do well. It's going to be flicked wide for a goal kick. But like we talked about, Nico, when he's put the first yellow card down the referee, he was setting a precedent for the game of where these types of fouls will not be tolerated. Excuse me. But that type of foul, Nico, was just a harmless foul with the 2 players, Rafael de Souza and the center back, Fazuli Diab, just wrestling for the ball, wrestling for possession. Not really worthy of yellow card in my book whatsoever. And now if every single foul like that's going to be a yellow card, this is going to definitely be a red card at some point in this game if it continues to go on like that, because these fouls are, well, they are what they are. They're just basic fouls. They're not really yellow card offenses, are they? As the Brooklyn Italians come on the counter here. Played wide to Matthew McDonald. His opportunity to shoot. So offsides will not count. Offsides again. The number 10, Rasmussen Hansen, just straying offsides there as he had a great shot on goal. Wonderful save, though, you have to say, Nico, from Colin Boltwell.
Definitely, Warren. After conceding that first goal, he made a great reaction. Definitely a strong test of his reflexes, but
Isaac Adai fouling Anthony Gimenez there. Gets up in Adai's face. Very unhappy about that foul. Interesting to see moving forward, Nico. We talk about the referee again. If he's going to let the players dictate the game in terms of diving, in terms of the rationale of the fouls that are being handed out here. Like you said before, it's a physical game. It's always going to be a physical game. It's a man's sport. It's NPSL, 4th division. It's always going to be a competitive game no matter who's playing out there. And the referee, if he's going to continue like this, Nico, it's not going to be a pretty game for both sides.
very true, Warren. People often forget that soccer is still a contact sport. Despite having a reputation, especially in the United States, as, you know, a soft sport, or not as, at least compared to American football, not as tough. But it is a contact sport. You have grown men, who spend the majority of their day working out, lifting weights, colliding for challenges in 50-50 balls, and sometimes those collisions can be tough. But you gotta let the players play and sort it out for themselves.
Absolutely, Nico. Those are the types of fouls that you would call an under 12 boys game, maybe under 13s, under 14s, but not at this level, not whatsoever. Michael Rincon attempts a flick there. It's going to go out for Italians, throw it on the far side. Roberto Jimenez collects, tries to find Isaac Adai, just too tall for him. Long ball by Taib, trying to find Obakan in the corner, cannot. Carvalho will take the throw. Back to Gabby D'Souza. Wonderful crossfield ball there. A wonderful touch there by Michael Rincon. Closed out wonderfully on the far side by Matthew McDonald. Jansen Lecce picks it up in the middle. Carvalho whips the ball into the box. There's opportunity there. The keeper comes out, punches it clear. Wonderful clear, you have to say, by Michael Bernardi.
Warren, that's great ownership of your box as a keeper. Making contact with the ball, punching it safely away. Great save.
Bernardi collects, rolls it out to the left back for the Italians. Cut out by Jimenez there, but the Italians do retain possession. Wonderful distribution again, you have to say, by Bernardi. He's done wonderful with that for this game. It's going to be a throw-in for Dominic Falanga. Wonderful interchange of play there, Nico, between him and Obakon down this right side. They created the first goal, and so far it's been their biggest threat so far, I would say, going forward, is the two of them combining together.
I couldn't agree more, Warren. They've been very dangerous on this right side, constantly overlapping each other, making those runs down the line, and really exploiting that left back position for Boston City.
Miscommunication there between Romero Moraes and Rafael de Souza. The ball looked to have gone out, but it's up and taking, and the Italians have a chance, but absolute strange sequence of events there, Nico. Jansen Lecce thought the ball had gone out. It hadn't gone out. The linesman didn't judge it to go out at least. It didn't necessarily look like it was out. It was right in front of us, Nico.
Warren,
and Obakon went through and tried to play a ball into Rasmus Hansen. It just was too far for them. Another opportunity for the Italians to go 2 up.
Warren, as you know, in this sport, the whole ball must cross the line in order for it to be out. Jadson unfortunately only saw part of the ball roll out, must have lost focus or concentration, thought it had gone all the way. But that's great mental focus from the Brooklyn Italians to see that play all the way through. As they say, from youth soccer all the way up to the professionals, you gotta play the whistle. And in that case, it was definitely a dangerous opportunity for the Italians tonight.
And the one thing you don't want to do if you're any young players watching out there tonight on the live stream is that just to stop completely. That's the worst thing you can do. Like you said, Nico, play to the whistle always. The worst thing you can do is just stop and hold your head up and appeal and hope that the referee is going to bail you out, because if he does it, he's going to look like Jansen Lecce there. As Obakon's in, wonderful block there by Carvalho. His opportunity to go at him again. Obakon's in. Wonderful tackle by Jansen Lecce. Covering across. Carvalho was beaten there at the second attempt by Obakon. It's going to be a corner for the Italians. Going to be taken by number 7, Clement Borat. Looks like they're going to try and take it short here to Rasmus Hansen. Waves him away. It's going to be digged into the box here as the corner comes in near post. The header's there again, but once again just flashed across the face of goal, Nico. Number 34, Matthew McDonald, looked to afflict that on, and the big center back, number 5, Fazuli Taib, was looking at that back post just over his head. He couldn't react to it, Nico. Just came too quickly to him at the back post.
Warren, that was an excellent ball in and an excellent run from the striker. He made that near post run. He cut in across the Boston City defense and made great contact with the ball. Unfortunately, just a bit wide, couldn't make contact with the goal.
It's a harmless shot there, goes wide, but Colin Bulk was absolutely furious there with, I believe it was Pedro Silva, who just gave the ball away. Just tells him to elect it just to play along there if you're in trouble, and he's right, Nico. No need to just lose it right in front of goal there while the left and right back are spread out. It just leaves a huge hole there in the middle. Carvalho will take the throw on the near side here. Trying to find Gabriel de Souza. Isaac Adai's turned in. He has the opportunity to get in, but Bernardi comes out and claims it.
Warren, throughout this half, Bernardi has had excellent ownership of his box as a keeper. He knows when to come out. He knows when to communicate with his defenders. He hasn't really been tested as far as making any big reactions or saves, but sometimes that's what you need in a keeper. The quieter, the better.
And we have to say, though, as there's an incident on the far side here again with who else but Jansen Lecce flying into another tackle. He is on a yellow, though, Nico. He needs to be careful. He can't be flying into these tackles like this. Jansen Lecce jogs away. Probably the right decision. It's going to be a free kick for the Italians. Looked like a rough challenge, Nico. He's lucky to escape there. Not even a talking to. He is on a yellow card.
Warren, sometimes I think Jadson spends more time on the ground than he does on the pitch. But again, that's credit to his excellent defending and his tenacity as a player.
So the ball is going to be sent in here to the near post. Bypasses everybody. It's 2-0 Brooklyn Italians.
Warren, that's just poor communication from the keeper and the back line as the ball just skips right through into that side netting.
It looked like everybody missed it. There was a miscommunication, I'm sure, between the center backs and Colin Balkwell, the goalkeeper for Boston City FC. It just flashed by everybody, and the keeper couldn't judge it. Jansen Letcher trying to talk to him now to talk it out, but it looks like everybody just left it. They thought the goalkeeper was going to come and claim it. The goalkeeper thought the defenders were going to deal with it. Neither of them dealt with it. It was left, and it bounces right into the top corner. Fazuli Taib tried to claim that he got a flick on it. I'm not sure who we're going to award the goal to. But it bounced right in between the center backs and the goalkeeper, the most dangerous spot for that free kick to go in. It bounced right into the top corner. And it's 2-0 Brooklyn Italians, and Boston City's going to have to start again.
Warren, just an unfortunate timing of that goal as well at the 45-minute mark. It's going to make for a very difficult conversation in that locker room for Boston City.
Right, Nico. You have to say at 1-0, you can get it at halftime, change some tactics, talk about some things, and still be in the game. But giving up a goal right before halftime is always the worst. As Obakan's away here, 1-on-1 with Carvalho. See what he does. Whips the ball in. Miscommunication, and there's a wonderful opportunity by Matthew McDonald to make it 3-0 to the Italians. There is a miscommunication between Gabriel De Souza and Paulo Henrique. They both went for the ball. One of them didn't get much onto it, and it fell to an unmarked McDonald, who plays it over the ball from no more than 8 yards out, Nico.
Warren, if you're a player on this Boston City roster, if you're a coach, even if you're a fan watching at home, you got to be begging the ref to blow his whistle and end this first half. As you can tell, morale is low, energy, intensity is low. And there it is, just in time, as the Boston City players leave the pitch, hopefully to regroup in the locker room and come out more focused and ready to attack and get some goals in the second half. And welcome back to our halftime show. Warren, 2-0 here at Brother Gilbert Stadium. The Brooklyn Italians up here tonight. Talk us through that first half. Obviously, Boston City suffering from that deficit. They've gotten a lot of goals scored against them. That raised the total to 9 against this season. Talk us through, if you're the coach right now in the locker room, what does this team need to do to come out in the second half and compete and really get a shot at winning this game?
Well, the first thing it needs to address is just the organization in general. We saw at the end there, right before they could have scored a third goal, the Brooklyn Italians, just not a lot of communication that needs to happen between the two center backs as well. Also, the link-up play that Boston City has been known for so much as long as they've existed in this league is the link-up play between Isaac Adai, D'Souza, Rigoberto Jimenez, and just be able to just counter quickly. That's what they're known for. That's what their bread and butter is. That's how they score their goals. And so far this entire season, especially tonight, we haven't really called any other names. We haven't called Isaac Adai's name a lot. We haven't called Rigoberto Jimenez's name a lot. We haven't been able to see the link-up play that's made them so potent before in the past.
Definitely, Warren. Jimenez, for example, had a very good chance in the first half, actually in the 7th minute of the game, to go up 1-0. Talk us through that attack and why it's so unfortunate that he missed his chance 1v1 with the keeper.
Well, Nico, it was a great ball that was played through by Homero Moraes, and he was in 1v1 with the goalkeeper. And instead of just slotting it either side, it was really a tame effort. It's just straight to down the middle of the goal. Keeper just calmly collects it. And that was their biggest chance of the game so far that they've really threatened. Besides for that, you've had a couple free kicks, a couple penalty appeals as well in the first half. But not much to really talk about here for us at halftime. It's been really disappointing for them so far going forward. They just haven't been clicking the way they usually have been. And another thing as well, tactically as well, if I'm Sosa, the coach at halftime, one of the things I have to say as well is the organization between the three lines. We've talked about before about how, and any player watching at home knows this as well, who's played at any legitimately high level, knows that the distance between your front lines, between the forwards, midfielders, and defense has to be close. You move up as a team, you move back as a team. And so far, poor Rigoberto Jimenez and D'Souza has been up top by themselves, basically. Isaac Adai trying to work his magic and attacking mid. And the distance for the midfielders like Jadson Lecce and Pedro Silva to cover is really just too great for them right now. They haven't really put the football on the ball and just kept possession. No one's really been that calming voice that they need. We saw Colin Balkwell, the goalkeeper, try and talk to his team after the first goal was conceded. Just calm things down and just get the play going like we've talked about before with Boston City. But so far, they just really haven't gotten it going the way as much as they would like, at least.
Definitely, Warren. So you mentioned, attack as a team, defend as a team, right? Obviously, Boston City has been exposed by the Italians on the counterattack. Part of the problem is they have too many people pushed up on the, up in there, attacking third, that when the Italians get the ball, they look to counter on that right side, down that left flank for the Boston City defense.
On the far side there, number 14 for the Brooklyn Italians, has been an absolutely brilliant player for them so far tonight. He's been wonderful. He whipped the ball in for the first goal. He's been dangerous all game long, whipping crosses, taking on Carvalho, the left back that got subbed in for Paul Kamensky. And he's just been, so far for me, their player of the game. Just absolutely constant threat on that counterattack, always looking to get in behind the defenders. You love to see that from a right midfielder, from a forward. Matthew McDonald as well with the first goal, a header off the corner. I thought it was a brilliant header. The ball comes in, just beats his man to the near post and gets that flick on, just really generates it in the neck muscles. Gets the neck muscle as well to just head it into the top corner as well. And then the second goal as well was very unfortunate. Nico, talk us through that a little bit.
Very unfortunate. Really just a miscommunication between all the center backs and the keeper. Each one kind of thinking the other person was going to clean it up, kind of passing on the responsibility when one person should have just stepped up. You got to talk, and especially on defense, you got to say, my ball, keeper's ball. And it was absolutely silent there, Warren. And as you could see, the ball just trickled in, and when it finally touched the net, everyone is left standing around looking at each other, hoping the other person was to blame. But unfortunately, the blame kind of rests on the entire back line.
Definitely, Nico. You nailed it right on the head there. That ball was a brilliant delivery, though. Right in between that gap between where the center backs were keeping their line and the goalkeeper coming out. And like you said, goalkeeper thought the defenders were going to get it. Defender thought the goalkeeper was going to come out and get it. Neither of them talked. It was dead silent on our end too, not just on the live stream. Bounces right in that space, goes right into the top corner. Nothing goalkeeper Colin Balkor could do about it. And that left them with 2-0. And it's going to be a long way back for Boston City in the second half if they're going to get a point out of this game.
Definitely, Warren. So back in our playing days, I know Coach always made it a point to make sure people were always talking on and off the field, right? We did countless drills time and time again throughout practice, making sure that, we're always calling my ball, making sure we're calling man on, simple things that we haven't seen throughout this game, and it's lacking, especially at that pro level.
Yes, Nico, we talked about NPSL being the 4th division in American soccer. Really should respect a higher level in terms of not just only the patterns of play and the quality of the play, but just in terms, like you talked about, these mistakes would be viewed as mistakes in an under 15, under 16 boys match and girls match. Really just a lackluster performance so far from Boston City. It's just
Definitely.
We're looking to see what Coach Sosa says at halftime to be able to put them in a position to get a point out of this game. They've really got to come out swinging in the second half. Nico.
Definitely, Warren. And to your point, furthermore, just playing that whistle, making sure that you're seeing the play all the way through until that ref puts his lips to the whistle and stops the action, as we saw on the line here with Jadson Lecce, appealing for the ball that never actually went out of bounds.
Yes, just completely stopped, Nico. One of the worst things we could do, like we talked about. But talk about the referee and his role so far in the game, because he's had a big one, and I'm assuming in the second half he's going to have an even bigger one if things continue the way that they are.
Definitely, Warren. The referee, first of all, it's been a very physical game. Both sides clashing, going at each other in the air, trying to win those 50-50 battles. The referee looked to get control of the game very early by giving out that first yellow card. He looked to set a precedent, as you said, throughout our broadcast. However, the game has started to get away from him, and he's starting to lose the respect, and he's starting to lose his authority as a referee from the players. And as these 50-50 challenges continue, they're getting more and more aggressive and more physical, and he's had to give out more and more cards. And Warren, if you ask me, I guarantee you we're going to see a red in the second half from one of the sides, if not both.
The worst thing you could do as a referee in terms of just controlling the game and managing the game is just start giving out yellows for every little foul, regardless if it's a foul or if it's a yellow card offense or not. And that's what we've seen here so far. We talked about the challenge from the number 5, the center back for the Brooklyn Italians. Just a simple, calm foul that there was no need to give a yellow for, and he's given a yellow. So that puts a precedent in the other players' minds, thinking, okay, well, if this basic foul is going to be a yellow, now you saw it in the second half when Jadson Lecce came straight through guy on the far side over there in the corner on a yellow card already. A lot of the Brooklyn Italians players go like this to the referee, trying to usher him into giving him a second yellow card. But like you said, Nico, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a red card in the second half, because this referee is very liberal with the cards, let's just say.
Liberal is definitely a great word to use, Warren. As you can't quite see from this angle, but the Boston City players are making their way out of the locker room and back onto the pitch. Warren, talk us through that mindset. As a former player yourself, what are they thinking right now coming into the second half?
Well, they've got to come out all arms swinging, Nico. They've definitely got to be able to just counterattack and press the Brooklyn Italians, just try and get some more possession back, because they haven't got as much possession as they usually have during the game, and even more so when it comes to creating chances. They've really got to start linking up better, because it's been rough to watch so far for them.
Definitely. And as the Brooklyn Italians take the pitch, you can see energy is high. A lot of smiles, a lot of laughs. They definitely feel in control right now, Warren, and that confidence could lead to a few more goals if Boston City isn't careful this second half.
Definitely, Nico. Absolutely agree.
All right, so as the players take their final preparations, we're going to head back to the booth. We'll see you after the game for a post-game analysis. I'm Miko Emack alongside Warren Wazzy Backman. Thanks for tuning in.
show, Nico. Really need to put their foot down here and really set the precedent here for the second half.
Warren, the next goal scored in this game is going to be very crucial for both sides. If it is the Italians, they have the chance to go up 3-0 and bury this Boston City side at home, making it a very tough deficit to come back from. However, if Boston City are the next to score and they able to bring the scoreline to 2-1, they have a whole 45 minutes to then even it out and really put some pressure on the Italians and hopefully come away with a point, if not the win.
We do have a sub here for Boston City, a change at goalkeeper actually. Colin Bulkwell has come off and is going to be, the shot comes in here. It's been a wonderful save by the goalkeeper who just got subbed on, his first action of the game. There's be a foul there on the far side. We have 3 subs to report for you actually for Boston City for halftime. Wallo Randolph comes in for Pedro Silva. Tyler Brodnick comes in for Rafael De Souza up top. And Victor Scariot comes in goal for Colin Bulkwell. The Italians have the chance here to just pump this ball into the box. Ironside's crew try to will their team on here to get a wonderful header by Jadson Lecce.
Warren, Jadson Lecce is everything you want in a holding mid, in a defensive midfielder, winning those balls outside of the box, turning himself into almost a wall.
Just a one-man wrecking crew, Nico. Wonderful clearance there by Michael Bernardi, the Brooklyn Italians goalkeeper. Paulo Henrique just trying to shepherd it out here. Does very well against Rasmus Hansen.
Boston City taking their time here with the throw. As Rincon finds Jadson Lecce. Adai plays a wonderful ball over the top, but it is cut out by the center back. Jimenez working hard here to win the ball back. And Boston City will elect to reset with the keeper.
Wonderful header there won by Fazuli Taib. Just been a stalwart back there, Nico, for the Brooklyn Italians. Just cut everything out. Handled Rafael De Souza so well that they had to sub him off at halftime. Tyler Brodnick comes in at center forward for them. Clearly offsides there, though. Wonderful finish by Rasmus Hansen. It's not going to count, though. It's a very, very tight offsides call, Nico. Really playing along the line there. Rasmus Hansen has been doing it all game, been very successful with it. But luckily for Boston City, like you mentioned, the next goal is going to be very important. If they got that third goal there, it would have probably have been curtains for Boston City, let's be honest. Isaac Adai gets clattered into from behind by number 7, Clement Boret. And just like we talked about at halftime, Nico, it's going to be another yellow card from the referee.
Just 5 minutes into the second half, we've already seen that 4th yellow card for the Brooklyn Italians. Again, Warren, that red card is looking more and more probable throughout the second half.
That yellow card is officially awarded to number 7, Clement Boret, for the Brooklyn Italians. Boston City electing to play another long ball into the box. Homero Marias, little miscontrol there, finds it right back to Michael Rincon. Tries to dance his way through. Instead of playing it wide simply to Adai, finds himself in trouble. The Italians had the opportunity to counterattack, but elect not to. Wonderful possession, you have to say, from the Italians, Nico. Anthony Herbert, the big number 22 at center mid, is absolutely phenomenal for them so far this game. Really has dictated the pace of the game. Roberto Jimenez just muscled off the ball there by Simon Olafson. Big number 4 center back for the Italians. Jensen Lecce playing it wide. Nice little bit of skill there to Carvalho. Referee has elected to give a throw. It looked like it was going to be a foul for Boston City, but it's just going to go out for a throw-in, while the Randolph will take it.
Warren, that was definitely a strong tackle, but the defender managed to get mostly ball there.
There's going to be a sub here for the Brooklyn Italians. Abu Abakad is going to come off, and number 17, Vittorio Argari, is going to come on for the Brooklyn Italians. Strange substitution, Nico, here. Only just 12 minutes into the start of the second half, taking off, let's be honest, Nico, we talked about it at halftime, the Brooklyn Italians' best, most attacking, most influential players so far. It's going to be a long throw here from Carvalho. Clear it out here. Rasmussen Hodson hits it long, but nobody's there. Easy to be collected and recycled there by Paulo Enrique. Back to Victor Scariot. Good pass out there by Gabriel de Souza. Tries to find a pass. It gets cut down there brilliantly by Matthew McDonald. And Clement Boret double teamed him there on that far side. And the Brooklyn Italians do win that throw, despite for the fact of the Ironside's crew's dismay. Wonderful cross into the box there. Decent clearance by Carvalho. Jensen Lecce plays it long. Tyler Brodnick trying to hold it up. Wonderful chest control. Misplayed ball pass, but it's going to be collected by Jensen Lecce, who hits another long ball into Rigoberto Jimenez, who misses his header out to Anthony Herbert. Carvalho chasing down the long ball here in the corner. Herbert hands on the back, definitely a foul. Carvalho acting wildly, lashing out to that challenge. Carvalho is down here for Boston City. Didn't seem to be much of that challenge, Nico. Just 2 hands on the back and just got pushed to the ground, but maybe he landed awkwardly, potentially.
Definitely, Warren. It didn't look too aggressive or malicious, but anytime you see both hands on a player's back, it's sure to be called every single time.
And he gets up. He's going to be fine. Looks like he fell on his wrist there that he's holding. On this hard turf, you never know what could happen with falling like that. Anyone who plays on turfs know that you get a multitude of injuries. Michael Rincon escapes there, plays it wide here. Just not enough pace on that pass there out to Walla Randolph. Boston City had the opportunity to counterattack there, did not take advantage of it. Carvalho plays a long ball down the line. Tyler Bronnick is called offsides here.
Warren, it looks like just about everyone in that back line knew he was offsides. As you can see, their hands are up. They appealed to the ref. Very smart defending. And just a strong IQ overall.
Just a great testament to their organization. We talked about at halftime, the Brooklyn Italians defense just so well organized as well.
Warren, they knew exactly where they were. They knew exactly where the forward was.
Absolutely.
And they made sure to hold their line and keep him offsides. Very well done.
You can see, Nico, we didn't talk about it at halftime, but it does need to be said. When the Brooklyn Italians did beat the New York Cosmos 3-2 in the Open Cup, it came as a shock to everybody who was watching the game or who knows American soccer. But let's be honest, Nico, I mean, between these two games that we've commentated so far for Boston City, I mean, the Brooklyn Italians are a strong team. As McDonald gets played through, he's 1v1 with the goalkeeper, and it's going to be 3-0 to the Brooklyn Italians. Matthew McDonald makes a run through, beats Gabriel D'Souza for pace, and flips it over the top of Victor Scariot, and it's going to be 3-0 Brooklyn Italians here.
Warren, that's very unfortunate for Scariot, the keeper. Not really much he could do. His defense let him down and created that 1v1 opportunity. Just really unfortunate. And again, Warren, as I said earlier, that third goal being very important in this game for whatever team that scores it. And now we see the Brooklyn Italians going up 3-0 in about the 60th minute, creating a very tough deficit for Boston City to come back from.
Dog gets played through. He's 1v1 with the goalkeeper, and it's going to be 3-0 to the Number 3, Paulo Enrique, the center back, is going to come off here. And coming on is going to be number 25, 5'4", Santiago Cardona. Looks like he's going to slot into center mid.
Warren, we were talking a lot about Cardona before the game. He's very technical and he's very deceiving. A lot of times people, they see his size and they underestimate his ability on the ball. He spent many years playing with the New England Revolution Academy. He's very skilled, very technical, and I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of intensity to that center midfield position. Furthermore, entering the game, fan favorite Yao Adao. Like I said at the pregame show, Yao scored the first ever goal for Boston City in 2016. He recently left the club at the beginning of this season, but has come back. And as you can hear in the background, the fans love to see it, Warren.
Yes, Yao Adao coming in for number 9, Rigoberto Jimenez. Had a rough time up there, didn't he, Nico? Didn't really get much on, was feeding off of scraps and not have the best of service, to be fair to him. Let's see if these two subs can make the difference, though. Going to be interesting and funny for most people to see Santiago Cardona up against the likes of Anthony Herbert, the 6'4" center mid for the Brooklyn Italians, who has dominated so far, number 22. He wins another header there, back to his goalkeeper, Michael Bernardi.
Yeah, also brings a lot of height into the box for Boston City, checking in at about 6'5" himself. Definitely creates that opportunity to find him in the air and hopefully disrupt that very well-organized Brooklyn Italians defense.
Yeah, no one's really been successful so far with it, have they? Interesting. I don't know if that was quite a shot or a through ball. I'm assuming it was a through ball. They're trying to find Rasmus Hansen, but he was nowhere near it. Much too far there by Herbert. Good ball out by Scariot to Michael Rincon. Isaac Adai gets it. Trying to find a way forward, but so far only in the second half, Nico, only long balls have done. Walla Randolph has the ball. Jansen Lecce playing a long ball. Isaac Adai's in. Little sombrero, if he can get an opportunity off here. Isaac Adai's blocked wonderfully by number 4, Simeon Olafson. The big center back for the Italians just laying out there to block that shot. There was a little bit of a commotion, Nico. When Jansen Lecce played the ball, he went down again and had a little bit of a confrontation with number 10, Rasmus Hansen, right in front of the Brooklyn Italians bench. couldn't quite see what was going on there, but the referee has ignored it. Linesman didn't say anything, so we play on here. Dominic Falango, who's had a wonderful game, Nico, you have to say, on that far side. Really quality player.
He has, Warren. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Gonna be a Boston City free kick here as Santiago Cardona loses his boot. Jadson Lecce, who else will take the free kick? And Lumpless into the box. Chaos up there as it dies in. Is he the potential to win it? Tyler Brodnick's there as well. Yao Ado won the initial header, flicked it on to Tyler Brodnick, who then tried to find a squeak through there to Isaac Adai, who could not make the most of that opportunity. Matthew McDonald tries to keep that ball in, but is not able to. Just played up the line there. Won again by Anthony Herbert, just an absolute wall over there. Played wide for number 17, the substitute, Vittorio Allegri, who plays it in. Opportunity there for Rasmussen Hansen, just flicked by the near post there, Nico.
Boston City very lucky there. The Brooklyn Italians did have a free man on that far post. Had the ball gone over, it would have created a very easy goal-scoring opportunity for the Italians and could have seen them go up 4-0.
Gabriel D'Souza, though, the captain, leader for this Boston City team, was tighterly marked to him than he was before. As McDonald could be in again here. And wonderful covering by Carvalho. Rincon, the right back, who should have been tucked in on that far side, left him wide open. And someone who scored twice against you is not who you want to be left open, Nico.
Definitely not, Warren.
So Brooklyn Italians come again. Daniel Falango with the overlap. Skips by Jadson Lecce as the opportunity to whip it in here. Has come to the back post, number 7, Clement Barrett. Number 3, Oliver Bennett recycles it. Anthony Herbert tries to dig a ball through, but it's going to be easy pickings for Victor Scariot.
Come on, Boston!
Who launches a ball down to find Adao, excuse me. Adao protesting to the referee. Didn't really see anything in that again. One-touch ball from Adai into Santiago Cardona, who plays it wide to Carvalho. Adao just off the pace so far, Nico, since he's come in. Has been out with injury for a long time, though. This is his first game back.
Well, number 2, you know people didn't like you, right?
For those of you who can't tell at home from the broadcast, Boston City has switched to 3 in the back.
It's going to be a foul there by Michael Rincon, very obviously against Matthew McDonald. Hands in the back, just shoved him straight over. Clear and obvious foul there by Rincon. There's no need to do that, Nico, especially when you're 3-0 down already.
Warren, as you can hear in the background, the fans are very unhappy with that call, but to me, that's a clear-cut foul.
Clear cut.
And especially the way this game has been progressing, Warren, is obviously going to be a yellow. The referee has absolutely lost his tolerance for any kind of foul, regardless of what it is, especially on a goal-scoring opportunity in the attacking third.
As the yellow goes to number 26, Michael Rincon. Number 7, Clement Barrett for the Brooklyn Italians will stand over it. As he whips the ball into that back post. Great catch there by Victor Scariot in traffic. Really well done there to stand his ground and be able to catch that ball.
Definitely, Warren. He rose above the Brooklyn Italian offense, snagged that ball out of the air. Great confidence, great athleticism, great skill.
While Randolph winning the free kick there for Boston City, taken quickly by Cardona. While the Randolph try to do tricks again there in the midfield, just hasn't worked out for them. Matthew McDonald's played the ball through. It's an opportunity for number 7, Clement Barrett, who plays it back to Oliver Bennett. Isaac Adai wins it from him, plays it through to Tyler Brodnick. But once again, the experience of number 4 there, Simeon Olofsson. Rough touch there by Michael Rincon. Wonderful baller play through. Michael McDonald's, and again, it's going to be 4-0 to the Brooklyn Italians. Wonderful ball by number 7, Clement Barrett. The keeper, Oliver Scariot, came out and did not collect it whatsoever. Matthew McDonald just snuck in there. It's going to be 4-0 for the Brooklyn Italians, and that's certainly curtains tonight, Nico. Wonderful baller play through. Michael McDonald's, and again, it's going to be 4-0 to the Brooklyn Italians.
Not a single player from Boston City, including the keeper, Scariot, offered any kind of indication as to who was going to come claim it. And as we see, it has resulted in that 4th goal. Just an unfortunate showing. We saw from the 2nd goal, Warren, that lack of communication, the breakdown of the back line, including the keeper. And really, it's just unfortunate to see here at Brother Gilbert Stadium, just 66 minutes into this game.
And unfortunately, Victor Scariot is down here with an injury. He's pulled up here after just being subbed on at halftime. But, Nico, let's go back to the goal. I mean, like you mentioned, the ball was so inconspicuous.
Hey, number 7, he's up. You're going to bug it out.
Outside of his foot, you have to say.
Wonderful baller play through. Michael McDonald again. It's going to be 4-0 to the Brooklyn Italians.
Whatsoever from Victor Scariot. Jansen Lecce doesn't play the ball, doesn't really organize that defense well, and it's going to be 4-0 to the Brooklyn Italians. And as Victor Scariot is still down here, unfortunately, looked like his knee potentially jammed in the turf there as he came out. Didn't really make an attempt to try and get that ball as he came out, Nico. I mean, it was just very just so cautious, almost way too cautious, just really hesitant defending from Boston City in terms of their organization and in terms of just dealing with the ball in the first place.
Warren, not only did that ball have so much flight time, it even had took a bounce on the pitch. It's just unacceptable at this level, Warren. You have to come out, whether you're the center back or the keeper, and claim responsibility for that loose ball. The forward there, Clements, had way too much time to pick his spot, beat the keeper, and finish cleanly.
And as Victor Scariot's getting his knee taped up here, they've already used a goalkeeper sub, Nico. Cannot sub in another goalkeeper. Although you do get more than the allotted 3 subs that you see in the professional game, in the Premier League and MLS and whatnot, in the NPSL, you're still only allowed, just like the other leagues, 1 goalkeeper change. So he's going to have to carry on here, unless you're going to have to see another player go and goal.
Warren, we talked about this before the game. We wondered how this NPSL side, the Brooklyn Italians, were able to defeat the New York Cosmos in Open Cup action. However, as we've seen throughout the night, they're putting on a very similar show, a very similar thrashing of this Boston City side, the same way we saw at the first home game of the season. Both sides very hungry, very patient, looking for that goal, but looking for the right opportunity, that right ball, that right pass, and making sure every time they're in front of the goal, they punish that Boston City back line.
And they have, Nico. They've done a good job of it so far. We did fail to mention, though, we are going to give us credit now, that is Matthew McDonald's hat trick tonight. 3 goals on the night. Scored the first goal with the near post header. As that ball is going to get called for a foul there. Brooklyn Italians without the chance to play out from the throw.
Warren, just about 20 minutes left in this game. We have seen crazier comebacks throughout this sport, but it is safe to say the Brooklyn Italians are going to walk away with the 3 points tonight based on their performance throughout this game. At this point, Warren, hopefully Boston City can compete for their fans, for their pride, for their own well-being as players, and hopefully steal a few more goals back.
And like you said, Nico, just salvage some pride. You know, it's been a rough season so far, like we talked about in the pregame show to the start of the season. They're just able to get a consolation goal. It can really do them wonders in terms of their confidence. If they don't score tonight, though, it'll be their third out of fourth game that they've played so far this season without scoring a goal. Giving up 9. Wonderful elastico move there by Michael Rincon. Fortunately, did not lead to anything.
Well, and just to correct you there and throw out a few stats for the fans at home, Boston City has only scored 2 goals this season, and it's not 9 against. It raises their total to 11 against.
It's going to be a 5th goal for the Brooklyn Italians. Wonderful little ball out to the right there. And Vittorio Allegri rips the ball into the box across the face of goal. Rasmus Hansen completely unmarked, Nico, right on the penalty spot and heads that into the bottom corner. Victor Scarian is down again. He didn't make an attempt to dive and save that. I wonder if his knee's still bothering him. Nico, what is going on there?
Warren, that's cursed at the commentator. Just as I was saying that Boston City has a deficit of 11 goals scored against them this season, in comes the 12th. It's unfortunate. They've been breaking down throughout the second half. And as we've seen, Warren, the Brooklyn Italians aren't going to stop.
No, and they shouldn't stop. They shouldn't stop whatsoever. This is a man sport. This is NPSL. This is professional level. There's no mercy rule. They've got to go for it all out. Goal difference could come to be a pit part play in their playoff position, whether they finish first, second, third, or fourth. For those of you who don't know, the top 4 in the conference do make the playoffs, but obviously that depends on their seeding and then where they're going to play either home or away. But it looks like Victor Scarian's in major trouble here.
Warren, he has taken his gloves off, which is a strong indication that he will not be remaining in goal for the rest of this half. As you said earlier, they already made that goalkeeper change at the beginning of the second half. So whoever they sub in is not going to be a goalkeeper.
It looks like it's going to be Jadson Lecce of all people.
Jadson Lecce does it all.
Absolutely unbelievable, Nico.
Warren, listen, I love to see it. As a player, taking that responsibility, stepping up, you couldn't ask for more. He's given all he has. He's given his body, his mind to this team, and now he's given his hands as he puts on the gloves and the penny and has a few final moments preparing to make his first appearance probably ever in the sport as a goalkeeper.
And Nico, although we do praise Jadson Lecce for having the courage to go a goal, we do have to mention as Victor Scarian goes off, this is going to be very damaging for Boston City. But with the score 5-0 and there be still 20 minutes left of this game, Nico, this could get a lot worse for Boston City.
Warren, as a player right now, as a former player, talk us through what must be going on in this Brooklyn Italian side. They must be looking upon this with just the most joy, excitement, thrill, rush. The synonyms are endless. They have an opportunity now to double their lead.
Nico, they've got to be looking at this, at Jadson Lecce a goal, like a lion hunting his prey in the African jungle, just waiting to pounce on him. They've got to be absolutely licking their lips. Matthew McDonald, Rasmus Hansen, his second of the game, by the way, we'd like to add. Just absolutely just licking their chops at this potential opportunity to be able to, as a risky back pass is played there. There has been a substitution, of course. Victor Scarian has gone out, and number 8, Avner Alves, has come on, slotting into that center back position for Boston City. Still playing through the back to their credit, still trying to go forward and get a consolation goal. But now at 5-0 with 20 minutes left plus stoppage time.
Warren, quick correction. They have shifted back to a 4 in the back.
You're right, Nico. They have. You have Walla Randolph has slotted back into the left back spot. I did not notice that. Good call. As Matthew McDonald it again. Could have potentially had his 4th of the game. Just could not make the proper contact on that. The wonderful ball in again. You have to say the delivery from number 17, right mid, Vittorio Allegri, has been absolutely wonderful.
Warren, say what you want about Jadson in goal. One of the biggest traits you want in a goalkeeper is fearlessness, and that's something that Jadson has in abundance. He's very confident. He's well aware of his skill. And he knows how to take a goal kick, that's for sure.
As the Ironsides crew here, apologize for the swearing if that was heard on the live stream. Very unhappy with the situation, as any Boston City fan would be right now. It's a very, very bleak situation right now. Matthew McDonald tracks back to win the ball from Michael Rincon. The Boston City Ironsides crew fans here chanting, "We're gonna win 6-5." That's a bit optimistic for them, I'd say, Nico.
A bit optimistic, but that's exactly what you want out of a supporters group, and you love to see the positive energy and the optimism from their side.
Jadson Lecce playing it wide here to Gabriel D'Souza. Makes his way up the field. Cavallo slots into center mid here. Jadson Lecce just has to clear. Isaac Adai has the opportunity. If he can flick it on, he cannot. Wonderful bit of skill there by Anthony Herbert to go away from 1-2 defenders. He whips the ball. Wonderful save by Jadson Lecce.
And the crowd goes wild, Warren, with the first save of his entire career. Jadson Lecce getting to the ground quick, making that reaction save. Absolutely incredible, Warren. The story writes itself.
Always love to see when a field player goes in goal, how his goalkeeper mechanics are clearly not very good. But we have to say number 22, Anthony Herbert, just glided by 3-4 Boston City defenders and really should have, let's be honest, with Jadson Lecce a goal, should have scored.
Warren, Herbert had a few options to the left and right of him, but you could tell he was hungry to test Jadson Lecce in keeper. He wanted to get on the score sheet tonight, and I'm not going to be surprised if he tries it again.
Double substitution coming here for the Brooklyn Italians. Number 7, Clement Boret is going to come off here. And coming on will be number 8, Giuseppe Barone, who scored against the New York Cosmos in their infamous Open Cup win a couple weeks ago. Not the type of person you want to see coming on the field if you're Alder Alves, Michael Rincon, Gabriel D'Souza, that back four of Boston City. There's going to be another sub. The second sub is now going to be made. Matthew McDonald, the hat-trick hero for the Brooklyn Italians, is going to come off here.
And they're going to be very hungry to get back on the score sheet, or excuse me, to get on the score sheet tonight. Make their mark on this game with just about 15 minutes to play.
Coming on for number 34, Matthew McDonald, is going to be number 11, Joseph Swenson. Excuse me, not Joseph Swenson, sorry, James Thorisno. James Thorisno looks to be slotting into that left midfield role. With number 18, the substitute Giuseppe Barone slotting it up top. Let's see what that combo can do. There's a wonderful bicycle kick clearance by Dominic Falanga.
The Ironsides crew taunting the Brooklyn Italians.
Gotta have some fun with the Nico. They're down 5-0. You gotta make the most of your day out.
Definitely.
Entering the 80th minute now as another sub's gonna come for the Brooklyn Italians. Number 10, 2 goals tonight. Rasmussen Hansen is gonna come off. It's a long wayward shot goes over the bar there, just to confirm that substitute. Rasmus Hansen, 2 goals tonight, comes off. And it's going to be number 27, Thomas Shuklecki. Difficult name is going to come on. There's going to be another sub here for the Brooklyn Italians. The sub's just piling on here. Number 3, excuse me, number 3, the left back, Oliver Bennett, is going to come off.
Warren, that will be the 5th and final substitution for the Brooklyn Italians tonight as they're on the attack here.
As they have an opportunity to score 6 here as it comes into, it's going to be a 6th goal here tonight for the Brooklyn Italians. The substitute, number 11, James Thurstino, is going to just make, well, not the best of contact, but he was left completely unmarked at the back post. Michael Rincon couldn't get back. As you see the replay here, the cross is sent in there, and he's just hit it into the ground. It just bounced over the goalkeeper and in.
Warren, I was hoping, I was praying, I was wishing that Jadson Lecce was going to be able to keep a clean sheet, but we all knew that 5th goal was coming in this game. 6th goal. Not much he could do there. Not much any keeper could do. Just a great first touch, a great finish into that top right corner.
Nothing Jadson Lecce could really do about that there. The shot actually, was really not the best, was it there?
No, and Warren, Jadson actually came out. He had initially a great reaction there to close out that attacker. But it just got that good first touch and was able to chip both the keeper.
Just James Thurstino there, number 11, the goal scorer, just got subbed on, just hit it into the ground and unintentionally chipped Jadson Lecce, like you said, Nico.
And Jadson is walking over to the free kick. We know he likes to take them, but someone needs to remind him that he is a goalkeeper now and not a field player.
He's standing, you can't see it on the live stream, but he's standing almost near halfway line. Really a dangerous position, as we know the lethalness of the Brooklyn Italians counterattack here, especially when Anthony Herbert's on the ball, which he is. Wonderful ball played out wide there. Giuseppe Barone loses out to Michael Rincon, who plays it to Tyler Brodnick, who has an opportunity to whip it in here for the Lions. It's just low and weak cross. That's just clearly easily dealt with. Clear foul there by Tyler Brodnick on Giuseppe Barone. It's really become uncomfortably quiet here, Nico, and that's what unfortunately happens when the score is so lopsided as it is. As Jadson Lecce comes out, deals with the long ball very well. Wonderful little bit of skill there by Santiago Cardona, the youngster, down that right side. Wins a throw-in for Boston City. Long ball's played. Try to find Isaac Adai. Once again, Nico, just like the New York Cosmos opener, we have not called Isaac Adai's name a lot tonight. He really, to be honest, has not really gone on the ball a lot. As Abner Alves is alone back there, dribbling away. The center back, number 4, Simon Ollison, making his way up the field, Beckenbauer-esque. Quick little 1-2 there. Out wide here, if they could whip the ball in, they could try to find a 7th. And it's another strong header run by Anthony Herbert. Jess is absolutely dominant in center mid. Let's be honest, and I really controlled the pace of play. Really a key player for them. It's going to be a foul. Isaac Adai is down, holding his foot. Just got stepped on his foot.
Warren, going back to your point about Herbert, he's been very strong in that role as defensive midfielder, really dictating the game connecting passes, helping to switch the play. Definitely a key member of this Brooklyn Italians offense.
Yao Ado on the far side there getting involved again. I haven't called his name in a while. Wonderful hold-up play there by the big man up top for the Italians. Shifted wide to Maiko Rincon. Alder Alves with a little bit of trickery there. Brooklyn Italians, let's be honest, they know they've won, Nico. They're really going low pressure right now. Low pace. All the intensity and just sort of just oomph has been sucked out of the game, hasn't it? Both sides know the result. They're just kind of playing out the last final minutes here. As Yao Ado was potentially in there, but a wonderful diving header by Dominic Falanga shifted over to left back for the Italians. Jansen Leshy thought about dribbling the forward there. Really don't want to do that when you're 6-0 down. Long ball is sent in. Isaac Adai picks up the loose ball. Just gets out-muscled there by Anthony Herbert. Giuseppe Baroni is away here. Cuts up the field here. Eludes Michael Rincon. Could not connect with the 1-2 pass. The Ironside's crew encouraging Jansen Leslie to dribble out onto his field. But thank God he's playing so far off his line so he can retrieve this long ball here. Just shepherding it out for a goal kick.
Hey, whoever wins has to buy me a beer.
As the ball's just gone over Alves' foot there. Cardona, you have to admit, Nico, he's done very well coming on there. He has the biggest size disadvantage I think I've ever seen at this level, but he's really held his own there. He's a really good player on the ball, silky smooth passing, hasn't lost the ball once, been able to dribble 2 or 3 guys, really done well. As Isaac Adai is through here if he has a chance to cross it in. Finds him in the middle here. Wonderful little bit of trickery from the Revolution graduate. Finds Homero Moraes, who takes a shot from far out. And it's just by the post. Wonderful shot by Homero Moraes.
Just inches from that near post, Warren. Inches. A really great showing from the Boston City attacker there. Just unfortunately could not connect with the back of the net.
And as the Ironsides crew was chanting, I believe that is Boston City's first shot on goal today. Well, it wasn't on goal because it just went by the post, but one of their only shots tonight. It's been pretty woeful for them going forward, we have to be honest, Nico.
A win tonight for the Italians will raise their record from 1 win and 2 losses to 2 wins and 2 losses, making their average at 500, which is definitely something you'd want when competing.
They also have 6 points on the season as well now, Nico, with this win. They were in 5th coming into this match, regardless of how other results go. They will move up a spot into 4th, but depending on how those other results go, like we said, they could potentially even move into 3rd, but we will wait and see how the other teams do. Hartford City in 2nd, very good team up there, as we talked about in the pregame. New York Cosmos, who are dominating all before them. 5 wins out of 5 games. Maximum amount of points in 1st place in the conference.
Warren, the Italians came into this game with a goal differential of -1. They will leave, as the score stands now, with a goal differential of +5. and the referee has blown his whistle at the 90-minute mark. There will be no extra time. Pretty much the closest thing we can see to a mercy rule in soccer. And like I said, the Brooklyn Italians will leave Brother Gilbert Stadium 2-2, 500 in the season, with a +5 goal differential. Warren, just a difficult showing here from the home side, as most of them storm away without shaking hands or talking to the coach. Back to the locker room. Talk us through it, Warren. What went wrong in this game?
Well, Nico, the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, it looked like it was going to be an even game. Like we talked about, the pregame, Boston City looked up for it. The Brooklyn Italians certainly were up for it. But then with that goal to start about the 20-minute mark, near post header by Matthew McDonald. That was his first goal in the night of a hat trick. Was able to hit that in the near post. That was 1-0.
And just like that, Warren, I got to interrupt you. So much class.
Yes, absolutely.
And some of his teammates, but Yao especially leading the charge, coming over to the Ironsides crew, making sure to thank the fans for their support. You know, it speaks so much to his character, his class, and really his ability as a player on and off the pitch. But as you were saying, Warren, a tough result. Continue talking us through this result.
Right, well, Nico, they almost went 3-0 down right before halftime. And the other issue that they had, of course, was that they went into halftime 2-0. They gave up that goal right on the halftime whistle. So it was 2-0 at halftime. And then as it entered the second half, it just got much worse for Boston City as it conceded a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth goal. We're getting word that we have two players here that are going to join us tonight. We will head over to the side to be able to introduce them to you right away. Hey, well done, man. You're brilliant. Seriously.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here, guys. Yeah, right here, yeah.
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 Come on. Over there, like, look where.
Yeah, this is the camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, fancy.
Yeah.
We're big time here.
We're just waiting for the green light. Warren, as you were saying, a tough result for Boston City. But again, as we were saying, Yao Adao, a class act, coming over to thank the fans at the end. Yao, talk us through the game. Talk us through your first appearance back for City and what it means for you to be playing in front of the fans again.
Home is home. You know, you never take that away. Being home, tough result. But we're going to get back to the lab, work, and try to get a better result next time out.
What did you see when you came on? You know, you were trying to get involved up front there, trying to get those loose, long balls that were sent to you. What was the game plan? What did Sosa say to you at halftime when you went into the locker room 2-0 down?
To be myself, insert a little bit spark into the team. We were playing well, but we just weren't connecting what we needed to connect. We just need to string together a couple passes and try to put one away. But unfortunately, the results didn't go our way. So we're back to the lab, as I said, and we're just trying to work our way back into getting 3 points on the table.
Definitely. And you, the youngster, obviously coming into the game, an obvious size deficit. Talk us through being a young player, being a smaller player, and your experience, you know, playing alongside some of these big guys, you know, guys with a lot of height and a lot of size.
I just like to just have fun playing soccer. I just try to go, I try to like show like some like skills too, try to like help out the team as much as possible. Just want to come in here, just try to like make an impact for sure, and I just want to win some games. And that's all that matters.
Definitely, and we got to ask, obviously Jadson Lecce stepping up, playing goalkeeper in those closing moments of the game. Definitely some smiles, brings a lot of confidence and a lot of fearlessness into that position, really any position he plays. What was coach's decision there to put Jadson in, and did he volunteer, or was he chosen?
As crazy as it is, he plays that during practice all the time as a joke. So to see him step up was, for us, it's not a surprise. for maybe the fans, it's a huge surprise. But he's actually a decent keeper.
He has some good saves there.
Yeah,
He did.
Another question is, for the young Cardona here. Talk about, obviously, we were mentioning on the live stream, Nico, we were commenting on the game when you came on there. Your passes are such silky smooth. Honestly, the way you dribble down the side there on the far side, you beat a couple players. You know, obviously you came from the New England Revolution Academy. And just talk about how you found Boston City and how you've been able to pursue your soccer career after leaving the Revolution Academy.
After leaving, I've always kept in contact with like Coach Craig, and like he's been helping me throughout like every single like step of like everything of soccer, like life and everything like that. So it's all because of him. It's all because of him I'm here and everything like that. So I'm just grateful for him, and I'm just trying to just show him that like I could play here too, and that I can help out the team as well. I just want to help him out and just help out the team. I want to see Boston winning games and going on the map.
Definitely, the two of you bring a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of skill to the pitch, and we thank you for having you here today.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And good luck next game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely. Warren, any closing thoughts?
Well, it was a rough one tonight for Boston City. You know, 6-0 is never the score you want, obviously, coming into the game. You know, we could talk about Jensen let you go a goal, so potentially maybe Victor could have saved that last one, but let's be honest here, 5-0, 6-0, whatever way you want to put it, they got killed tonight, and that's honestly what the truth is. And unfortunately for them, just like we talked about, moving forward in the attacking third, the passes aren't connecting as well as they would have liked, especially in seasons past. What they're known for, like we talked about in the pregame, their ability to be organized in the back was one of the things previously that they've prided themselves on and been able to. We talked about in the second goal, the miscommunication there between the goalkeeper and the back line. And then false, of course, with the last goal where Victor Scary got injured on, the massive miscommunication that just cannot happen at any level. And those guys know that. They understand that. That's why they went over here to the fans, to the Ironsides crew, and applauded them and thanked them for their support and promised that they would do better because, fortunately, at the end of the day, Nico, there's nothing else you can say but sorry and move on and try and get better.
Definitely, Warren. There's a lot of skill on this team, a lot of talent, a lot of great players. They just need to find a way to communicate and connect, and hopefully they'll practice that throughout this week and the weeks coming and hopefully get a result in the future.
Yes, Paulinho will be back for the next game. We only have 1 game suspension, so he will be back on the bench for the next home game, which is here at Brother Gilbert Stadium, June 9th, my birthday, Nico, against Hartford City FC in a top-of-the-table clash, at least for Hartford City. They're currently sitting in second place. They've been undefeated so far. They will probably be undefeated coming into that match next week. So it's going to be a massive game for Boston City to be able to just get some momentum going throughout the season because at this rate, they're not going to make the top 4 in the playoffs.
Definitely. And for all of you guys watching at home, Hartford City has a great supporters group, the Agents of Hail. They're very loud. They bring drums and vuvuzelas. So we definitely need everyone to come and support the home team as they take on Hartford City. And we hope to see you there. For tonight's game, I'm Nico Emack alongside Warren Wazzy Backman. Thank you for tuning in and see you soon.